Please, can I have our attention?
Sorry, let me answer the please.
Yes. Mic check 1, 2 is low. All right, so distinguished participants, we have to move on now. Our facilitator is already on standby. In the meantime, our online participants, thank you very much. We recognize you. Can one person among the online, just one person, unmute and say hello to us, please? One of our online participants. We have a whole lot of in-person here. We'd like to hear from you. Just unmute and say hello to us.
Hello, good morning, doctor.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
All right, I think the greeting will come much later.
Hello, good
So
morning.
in the meantime, distinguished participants, okay, yes, we can see from Mr. Osoro Monday. Hello, we will have preferred a voice chat, but that's fine. So thank you very much, our online participants, for keeping faith with us. We appreciate you greatly. So distinguished participants, we are set to continue with our technical session. And right about now, we want to take paper 5, practical tools and applications. And to facilitate this particular session for us is no other person than our erudite Professor Adebayo Paul Adejola, all the way from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, United States. Please, can you, with a warm round of applause, make welcome Prof for his presentation. Over to you, Prof. Sir.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Lambert, our able African rep, and other facilitators seated, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, global champions in our midst, and the inductees who will be inducted tomorrow. Those joining online, say welcome to day 2 of this masterclass. I want to believe that so far, so good, value has been added. Yet, if we say value has not been added, we have today to create additional value, God helping us. We return all the glory to the Almighty God.
Please, distinguished participants, can we all be together, please? Please. Thank you very much. All right, Prof, please go ahead.
All right, now, today we'll go into the practical session straight. But before we do that, I will draw our attention to the fact that out of the 2 numerous AI tools we have available that can support your work as a professional or consultant or civil servant or even CEO, we are going to look at just 2 this morning. I've said about artificial intelligence over and over that no matter the sophistication of any digital tool, the place of human brilliance, human intelligence, human ingenuity cannot be overemphasized. It was in 2023 when I started research into AI. After that 2023, I said minimum, I discovered 23 AI tools, not just discovery. I used them, carry out research, develop case studies, apply this case study to the AI tools, so apply the AI to solve this case study, real life case studies. And during the course of this research, I've just come to discover also that these AI tools need to be specified to take care of a specific task. For example, you may have a challenge, a problem you want to solve. The question that should come to your mind is, which is the relevant AI tool that will assist me to gather information or to analyze data for purpose of decision making? Now, if you look at the screen, let me quickly share this. The 2 AI tools we're going to be looking at this morning is Gemini and ChatGPT. And we're going to see how to apply this practically. Just a moment. See the screen? It's very important we understand the basic difference between ChatGPT and Gemini, which will be the AI tool that will be deployed to take care of the case studies we have before us today. Before I go on, if you have not downloaded the document share on the platform, please do so. If you need our team to help you in doing so, please draw their attention. We have shared this on the platform early hours of today, and we've been reminding us you can create a folder. Inside that folder, you download and copy all the documents into that particular folder. Let's see basic differences between ChatGPT and Gemini in terms of functionalities. It's good we know the reason we use some of these AI tools. Yesterday, we used software to store our data. Today, we use AI to find its meaning. We aren't comparing two applications or two apps. We are comparing two different ways of thinking. Basic differences between ChatGPT and Gemini in terms of functionalities. In 2026, the gap between ChatGPT and Gemini has evolved into a platform war rather than just a chatbot competition. I remember also one of the AI tools, especially relevant to those in the academia, when they launched that application newly, the developers of this AI tool, in their marketing strategy, they will tell you, forget ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not taking care of plagiarism. ChatGPT, they can find you when you use ChatGPT. Forget ChatGPT. There is an AI tool that comes with originality. That is marketing strategy. So while both are multimodal powerhouses, they serve different philosophies. Let's take that. Somebody will tell you, all I'm using is ChatGPT. No, ChatGPT cannot handle all. I give another instance. In 2023, I have particular data collected from industries, about 23 industries for 5 years, and I gave the data to ChatGPT to analyze and interpret those data in accordance to one of the statistical tools used in management sciences or social sciences. And ChatGPT replied me as follows: I have not been programmed to handle such tasks. So in the quest to look out for another alternative AI tool that can handle it perfectly, I saw Gemini. And I gave the same question to Gemini, and Gemini analyzed perfectly, analyzed and interpreted. So while both are multimodal powerhouses, they serve different philosophies. ChatGPT focuses on being a polished, creative thinking partner, while Gemini has leaned into being a high-speed, integrated productivity engine. Here is the breakdown of their functionalities and differences. Ecosystem and integration. The biggest functional difference is where these AIs live, where they live, and how they interact with your existing data. If you look at the feature number one, their primary hub, ChatGPT, OpenAI, stand-alone web/mobile app. But for Gemini, integrated into Google Workspace, Documents, Gmail, Drive. We are talking of where they live now. App ecosystem. custom GPTs, a massive marketplace of user created but for specific tasks of Gemini, extensions, native connections to Google Maps, YouTube, flights, and hotels. And some of us who have started registering for the certification course in artificial intelligence for professionals and top executives. One of the things we'll be seeing come August 8th, that should be next week, Saturday, online. That is, on this one is online. Now, one of the things we'll be seeing, how do I use Gemini, for example, to interpret a video uploaded in the YouTube? At least you have watched a particular video, or you are preparing for a message, or you're preparing for a presentation, and you don't have the time to watch the video that you have seen on the YouTube that is relevant to your presentation. You can download that video to Gemini and prompt Gemini to convert it into text. And within a twinkle of an eye, you will see that done. Workflow, best for copy-paste workflows or using a dedicated desktop app. For Gemini, native workflows can draft an email in Gmail or a table in Sheets directly. Core strengths and use cases. ChatGPT 5.1, 5.2 still reigns supreme in creative writing, storytelling, and nuanced conversation. It is often cited as feeling more human and less rigid. It excels at complex instruction, following, and deep reasoning for brainstorming. What about Gemini, especially Gemini 3 Pro? Dominates in research. Can you see the empathy now? Dominates in research and data processing because it is connected to Google Search. Its real-time into retrieval is often faster and more structured. It is also the go-to for summarizing massive files, like 500-page PDFs or hour-long videos. Can you see that? I just said this now. That come next Saturday and the other 3 Saturdays following. Every Saturday, effective from August 8th, for just 1.5 hours, maximum 2 hours. We'll be seeing this, that you have documents as voluminous as 500 pages. You can take them to Gemini to help you summarize. And you have videos, you can take the video also to Gemini. These are some of the peculiar features of Gemini. Technical capabilities, context window. Gemini 3 Pro supports up to 1 million plus tokens, allowing you to upload entire code bases or 1-hour videos. That ChatGPT's content is large but generally smaller, focusing more on the immediate quality of the dialogue. The multimodality for Gemini, natively multimodal from the start. It can watch a YouTube video and give you a time-stamped summary or hear an audio file and find specific quotes. Can you see that? It's all about prompting. It is not sufficient that we are aware that AI tools are available. It is more important for us to know how to give the right prompting to AI tool. It's just like motor vehicle. You have a brand new motor vehicle, very brand new, tear rubber. And here, the car is parked. Here is the key to the car. And from the north, you say, Gapili Gadut, but you don't know how to drive. That's the same thing. We may have AI tools available. If you don't give the right prompting instruction, you are not going to get the right output or right result. ChatGPT uses specialized soft systems like Dell here for images and Sora search for video and web. While highly capable, the experience is sometimes more modular than Gemini's unified approach. Coding. ChatGPT is often preferred for debugging and learning. Explaining why code works. Why Gemini is favored for generating snippets and cloud-related development within Google's environment. Media generation new for 2026 images. Gemini uses the Nano Banana model, which allows for 4K resolution and brush to edit features. ChatGPT used here, which is praised for higher artistic creativity and following complex text in image prompts. Therefore, video, Gemini offers Veo integrated for creators, while ChatGPT users have access to Sora. Veo is currently noted for being more accessible to the average user for quick, practical clips. Which one should you use? That's the question. Ladies and gentlemen, professional colleagues, it's not just sufficient for us to come to a master class of this nature. I will now come up with case study. I will now copy and take to ChatGPT or take to Gemini or take to Copilot or take to Grok and the rest without knowing the right tool that best solve the problem. That's what we are doing now. So which one should you use? Choose ChatGPT if you want a creative collaborator, a tutor who explains concepts deeply, or if you want to build your own mini AI bots, that's custom GPTs. Then it says choose Gemini if you live in Google Workspace, need to analyze massive documents or videos, or want the fastest real-time info from the web. Can you see that now? If you are not penciling anything down, you can screenshot. Though we are sharing the flyers, though we are sharing the slides tomorrow. Everything is all things being equal. Even before the end of tomorrow's session, we will all have the materials in our mailbox by God's grace. So which one should you choose? This one should guide us. Closing insights. As I close this session, we're going to practice. The goal isn't to find the perfect AI, but to find the one that removes the most friction between your ideas and your results. The future doesn't belong to the AI with the most features, but to the person who knows which feature to use when. That is why we are here, number one. And that is one of the reasons also that as we take minimum 8 to 10 AI tools during the certification course, we will see more and more information on why we should use a particular AI tool. Now let's go to the practical straight. The very first thing I want us to do, again, is to download all those documents shared. And one specific feature in the manner of arrangement of those documents shared is this. Let's listen carefully. You will see I put practical case study 1, then I will tell you data. Practical case study 2, sorry, practical case study 1, data. Practical case study 1, prompts. Practical case study 1, task. So like 3 in 1. But what we need to do first is to launch our browser because we want to go straight. Launch your browser. And I've just shared with the African rep, Associate Professor Lambert, that please, ladies and gentlemen, we know the location you are in Abuja, Nigeria. The internet is not too strong in that place. Peradventure, you are not able to practically follow what I will be doing here. You don't need to bother yourself. Reason number 1, I'm recording everything, all the presentation being recorded. Number 2, we are going to share those recorded video with us so that when you now sit down, your comfort zone, where you have better and stronger internet access, you can follow the step and you are going to get the same results. All right, there's menu, you are set, you have made provision for your data and hotspots, and you have a unique internet access or service provider. Why not? So let's go to case study 1 before we now choose the right AI tool to use. Practical. I will just, let's pay attention, please. Now, if you have downloaded all the case study shared, here is case study 1. Our case study 1, case study 2, very specific to tax administrators. I mean, our tax authorities. But there's one other case study that's relevant to the taxpayers. So that it won't be that you have come to attend masterclass and the only thing we have done is how the tax authority will collect more money from you, the taxpayer. Because I was sitting here this morning while waiting for me to be called upon, I just decided to create one other case study, how you can minimize tax. Let's see if we can cover all this within 1 hour, 30 minutes I have. See the case study. Case study 1, tax fraud detection, revenue leakages, and financial irregularities using data analytics. I will say Nigeria tax administration scenario. See the background. The Lagos State Internal Revenue Service recently concluded a 6-month review of tax collection from selected companies operating within the states. Management suspect that substantial revenue leakages are occurring due to tax evasion, duplicate payments, fake invoices, payroll fraud, procurement irregularities, and weak internal controls. You have been engaged as an AI-powered tax forensic consultant to analyze the available financial data and provide recommendations for improving tax compliance and revenue assurance. See the data set now. We have data for this. Corporate tax returns, you can see that the company is there, industry is there. That's another column. You can see company, we can see industry, annual revenue in millions, VAT collected in millions, VAT remitted in millions, payee deducted in millions, payee remitted in millions, company income tax paid. They are all there for Alpha Limited, Beta Limited, Gamma Limited, Delta Ventures, Epsilon Limited, Zeta Services, Omega Resources, Prime Solution, and so on. That's the data set 2. Procurement payments. For procurement payment, we can see that data set, invoice number given, vendors given, amount in millions, payment date, payment status. Because of our time, we don't need to read this data. You all have it. See, invoice 101, 102, and the vendors, they are all stated here. And the dates, payment dates. Data set number 3, payroll records, staff ID, employee, can you see there? Musa Bello, Grace Obi, John Ade, Fatima Yusuf, and the rest. Gross salary, giving, payee deducted, pension giving, bank accounts. Then data set 4, taxpayer registration. Can you see that? Tax identification number given there, that's the team, business name, status, last tax filed, annual turnover, in million. We are given that data set. Now, this is the data set. The next thing that will come to your mind, okay, I have the data set now. What is the task, not tax? What are the tasks expected of me to now perform or carry out? Let's go. If you check the document I shared also, you will see that I have practical case study 1, and I tag that one, task, TASKS. So let me share that with us. so we can be on the same page. So what am I expected to do with these data sets? From the screen, we can see that now. Very first task, task 1, revenue leakages. Identify companies with possible revenue leakages by comparing VAT collected versus VAT remitted. Number 2, under that one, payee deducted versus payee remitted. And this same question says, calculate VAT leakage, payee leakage, total potential leakage. And it says, rank the companies from highest to lowest risk. See task number 2, tax compliance analysis. They identify companies with poor tax compliance, companies that require immediate tax investigation, companies that appear fully compliant. They provide reasons for each conclusion. Task 3, procurement fraud. Review data sets 2 and identify duplicate invoices, possible duplicate payment, suspicious vendors, split payments, other procurement anomalies. Recommend additional audit procedures. Task number 4, payroll fraud. Analyze data set 3 and identify possible ghost workers, shared bank account, payee fraud, pension fraud, payroll manipulation. And they say estimate the potential financial exposure. Task number 5, missing taxpayers. Using data set 4, as the data set I showed us earlier, identify businesses that may require urgent tax compliance enforcement because of failure to file returns, late filing, high turnover with prolonged non-compliance. Recommend enforcement actions. Then we have task number 6, AI power revenue assurance dashboard. Recommend 10 key performance indicators, KPIs, that should be displayed on a Power BI dashboard for the executive chairman of the Internal Revenue Service. You see, the examples may include this. We are giving the example. Then task number 7, which should be the last task, executive report. Prepare a 2-page executive report addressed to the executive chairman of the Internal Revenue Service, containing executive summary, key findings, quantification of identified leakages, major fraud. Because of our time, what I'm going to do, I will just take maybe task 1, 2, 3, then I will jump to task 7. When you now sit down, I say it again, comfort zone, well relaxed, good internet access, you can complete the rest tasks. The first thing we'll do, first thing first, again, please launch your browser, especially if you have strong internet connection or your hotspot. Very, very effective. I'm launching mine. As I'm saying it, I'm showing it. I use Firefox. So launch your own. Our consultants there, please, our team, you can go around and eventually we have some people who have strong internet connection. You can help us guide them as well. Any questions so far, so good? People online, do we have any question?
No question here, Prof. For now.
All right. We have launched our. Have you launched your browser? See, this is my own browser, Firefox. And the first thing we'll do for this particular question, we are going to use Gemini. You know, the question did not specify. Somebody says, yes, I have a question. How can I launch my browser? Do you have Firefox? What is the browser you have on your system? Install on your system? Is it Chrome? Is it Firefox? All you just need to do is to click. See my cursor on the screen. Somebody is asking, how do I launch my browser? See, if you have this Firefox, you click on this. Some other people have Chrome, different types. Just click and watch the next instruction. For this particular question, because it involves some analysis also, where a question is given as an expert, that's why we're in this class, Masterclass. They have appointed you as the experts. And here before you are the problem, or is the problem. Which one do I use? ChatGPT or Gemini? A lot of people have called in the time past, which one is relevant? All right, what you do next, without wasting time, if you have learned, just type Gemini. Watch what you are seeing. Gemini, GEMINI.google.com. Press enter. See that? I'm pressing watch Gemini.google.com and press enter. If you are using Gemini for the first time, the app may ask you to sign up, right? May ask you, but it's a free version. It's a free version. This same Gemini I'm using, I don't subscribe. I don't pay monthly subscription. So it's free, available for everybody. I want to be sure we are all here. This is Masterclass in Cybersecurity, Digital Tools, and Smart Cards. Just to remind us, when we come to a more narrower meeting that we want to be specific now, we will now look at all the features of all the AI, because there are some people that are also aware that we have ChatGPT available, but they are not maximizing the potential in ChatGPT. Can't the ChatGPT and Gemini app do this? Do we have to do it? Just follow what we are doing here. We have a reason for launching this. Once you launch your browser, we go to Google Gemini. Now watch. I'll come here. Look at the sign here. This is attachment. We want to upload a document. And of course, yesterday we did mention that data is the new oil. And we say AI is the refinery. So we are in AI today. That's one. So we are in the factory. We are in the refinery now. You click on this. I will go watch. When you click on this, you say upload files. We upload file. As soon as I click upload file, it's going to take me to my desktop. I've clicked on desktop. Check where you have saved the documents. For instance, I gave us on the platform that you can decide to open a folder, copy all those documents in that folder. So if you have opened the folder and all your documents are there, all you just need to do is to go and select the particular one. See my own, I name it Practical Day 2. And what I need now is the data. See, practical case study. Practical case study data. Practical case study 1 data set. Can you see that? practical case study, I said data. You have it in PDF also. Let me pick it in PDF. I'll click on this. Then I'll click open. Watch now. By clicking open, I'm uploading those data sets as we have it in the question. Once this is done, I've successfully uploaded. The next relevant thing you need to do, please check the other documents I've just shown to us now that we have had task, practical case study, 1, task. I just read out 7 different tasks to be performed. Now, what we are doing, please pay attention. We have task number 1, revenue leakages. Identify companies with possible revenue leakages by comparing VAT collected as VAT versus VAT remitted.
Sorry, Prof. Somebody has a question here.
Okay, go ahead.
He can't hear you from there. Just mention your question. I will reinforce. All right, Prof. Sorry. What they just want is a repeat.
What's the question?
A repeat of how you uploaded.
Okay, I'll upload it. Okay, just watch. What?
A repeat of how you uploaded.
I get the question. There's no problem. Okay, watch now. To upload, you will click on this cross sign, this plus sign. When you click on it, it's going to take you to your desktop. That's why we asked us to make sure we download all those documents shared on our platforms. On our platform. And once you click on that, it will take you to your desktop, then select practical case study 1, data. Now check also, because of time, if you check also your platform, I have another document in Word. That's in Word document that I label prompts. Prompting is very, very important. All right. You open that document, just watch what I'm doing. You take you highlight see. You paste the prompts, open the document that has the prompts.
Hello, Prof. Somebody is asking.
Go ahead.
That except you sign in, you cannot.
I said that earlier. You can sign in. It's free. It's free.
Except you sign.
Go ahead and sign in. It is the free version. Just follow the prompting, follow the steps. Sign in. Sign in. Don't pick the option that will ask you to pay. In fact, before we even continue, we need to ask.
It's noted.
Sure. It's noted. Take that again. You say it's noted.
There's a delay. The statement here, but they have noted that.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's see. Please check your document that has to do with prompts. I've given you the prompt. They are just copied. That's what I've just done. They say, assume the role of an AI-powered tax auditor, certified forensic accountant, data analytics expert, and revenue assurance consultant. Analyze the attached data sets above and answer the following questions. That's the prompting. Ladies and gentlemen, professional colleagues, when you are using AI, the very first thing, especially when you have to upload documents, the very first thing you need to do is to draw the attention of the AI tool that you have an uploaded or attached document. In the time past, I've uploaded, I just gave instruction to analyze, and the AI tool replied me, but I can't see any data. So you need to include in your prompt or instruction that you have uploaded, you have attached. So answer the following question. The next thing you will do is now to begin to pick the questions one after the other. Ladies and gentlemen, the very task number one, where do I copy the questions from? Your own is just to copy the question now and go and paste. Terminal will do the analysis. I will read again from my own screen here. Task one is revenue leakages. Identify companies with possible revenue leakages by comparing VAT collected versus VAT remitted, payee deducted versus payee remitted. Then calculate VAT leakage, payee leakage, total potential leakage. Rank the companies from highest to lowest risk. So I'm taking all the way it is there. I'm copying everything. That's all we are doing. And to do that, once you copy, see what I've done, I pasted again. Remember, number one, I've asked Gemini to assume the role of an AI-powered tax auditor, certified forensic accountant, data analytics expert, revenue assurance consultant. And if he assumed the role, you are talking to AI now as human being. You are now saying, analyze the attached data sets. And I've copied also the first data set. All you need to do next is to press enter or you submit. Let's watch what happened. As soon as I submit, can you see immediately, almost immediately, in less than 3 seconds, task one, revenue leakages. Based on data set one, corporate tax returns, below is the forensic comparison of tax collected / deducted versus tax remitted to determine the potential revenue leakage.
Hello, sorry, Prof. Sorry, there's a feedback. So please, I'll try to make myself clear. Please, they want a slight repeat of the step again. The participants, and I want to crave their indulgence to also pay attention so that they can follow. We
are here because of ourselves and because of everybody. It's better once you can even get one step like this perfectly, it will help you for subsequent one. I said the very first step is for you to launch your browser. Once you launch your browser, the next step is to now type gemini.google.com and press enter. And once you do that, the next step is for you to upload. Of course, in data analytics, what are we analyzing? Data. That's why on purpose, I separated the data set from the prompt and from the task. So data is what you are analyzing. So you will first upload the data. As we are going to see the next case study, data is even in Excel format. Because most data collected, or in most cases, data are collected using Excel. So the first thing is you upload the data sets, which I have labeled practical case study 1 data sets. All right. So once you do that, the next thing is the prompting. You will tell the particular AI you are using to either act as a chartered accountant, forensic expert, depending on the problem you want to solve. You are addressing the AI tool now as if it's human being. So assume the role of a tax consultant or a forensic expert, forensic investigator. So once you send that prompt correctly, you now say, analyze or solve the following problem. So once you do that, which will also have a document with the prompts, just check your platform. I have 3 documents here. The first one is practical case study 1, data set. I have practical case study 1, prompt. I have practical case study 1, the task. So, and from the task now, the very first thing is task 1. And what is task 1 saying we should do? Task 1 is asking us to perform analysis on revenue leakages. That's revenue leakage analysis. See our results now. I'm scrolling. And once you put task 1, I just pick one at a time. I've advised professionals in the time past, I think when we had our certification course online, stream 3. Some people, maybe it's time, I don't know, time constraint, or they are always in a hurry. They will now copy all the 7 tasks at the same time. It's not advisable. It will limit the information you are going to get. If you decide to just release all the 7 tasks all at once, do it one after the other. One thing about AI tool is, after analysis, you can even prompt again, give another instruction that it should expatiate more analysis. That will not permit us. We'll be on 1 case study out of 4. Let's go. I'm reading, I'm scrolling, see my solution. Formulas apply. VAT leakage is equal to VAT collected minus VAT remitted. It's even giving us the formula. How you arrive at the result. Payee leakage is equal to payee deducted minus payee remitted. Then number 3, total potential leakage is equal to VAT leakage plus payee leakage. Then I'm scrolling. Revenue leakage breakdown table. All financial values are in millions of naira. Company, you can see all the company, the column for company, industry, you even classify them to different industry. ICT, mining, logistics, hospitality, and so on. VAT collected, we can see it from my table here. Some of us, please don't be surprised if you don't have exactly what you are seeing on my screen. AI is plagiarism sensitive. So that somebody will say, bro, my own solution is not exactly with your own solution. The only area you can raise objection if the difference between tax collected and remitted is not the same with what I have. So if we use the same formula, it's just like debit and credit. Debit credit is the same anywhere in the world, as discovered by that Italian priest, Luca Pacioli. May his soul rest in peace. He gave some of us job to be doing today. All right. Payee remitted, we see payee deducted, and we can see that column also that is saying payee leakage. See it here. Let me do analysis. Payee leakage, payee deducted, payee remitted, payee leakage. If you even do a simple arithmetic here, the difference between this and this, I think should give us 75. Then when you see the difference between these two, the total leakage is 215 for prime solution. Anyway, you have this just to guide later. You can be doing executive key findings. We are still on tax 1. Total cumulative leakage, a total of 775 million in collected taxes, VAT 510 million, payee 265 million was withheld by corporate entities rather than remitted to the state treasury. So the Lagos Tax Authority now have work to do to recover this money. 2 top high risk offenders. Prime solution, highest absolute potential leakage at 215 million. 140 million VAT plus 75 million payee. Omega Resources has classified Then the last one, number 3, full compliance. Better PLC demonstrated 100% remittance compliance across both VAT and payee. We are done with task 1. I don't need to close this AI pool. That's Gemini. What I will do next, because of time, I will try and skip some of these tasks. You can always do that yourself. Let me go straight and pick task number 4. I'm jumping to 4. But you can follow it one after the other. I will just go and pick task number 4. Sometimes when you have questions of this nature, you can pick the ones. Just copy the one that is germane to your investigation. It may not be all, it depends on what you are looking for. Actually, the original question I had, the case study, there are 14 tasks to be performed. I just reduced it to 7. There are about 14 of them. All right. We have, so go and highlight task 4 from your practical case study 1 task. Highlight the whole of task 4 as you have it in that case study. And once you do this, the next thing again, watch what I'm doing. The next thing to do, the same Gemini, I will paste. Don't worry, somebody will say it's scattered. It doesn't matter. I understand all this. Task 4, payroll fraud. And it's saying analyze data set 3 and identify possible ghost workers, share bank accounts, pension. Consider pension fraud, payroll manipulation, and the rest. Here, all I need to do, I will submit. Watch. As I submit, immediately, can you see the solution there? Task 4, payroll fraud and financial irregularity analysis. They based on the forensic audit of data set 3, payroll records, multiple critical internal control failures, ghost worker indicators, tax evasion schemes, anomalies, and statutory remittance reports were identified. See the key findings and fraud categorization. Share bank account, identity/payroll fraud risk. With their name, staff ID 1001, Musa Bello, staff ID that's identified. Audit implication. Operating multiple accounts with the same bank details is a classic indicator of ghost worker or illegal payroll funneling to a single perpetrator. See the second one, payee tax evasion and pension. I'll be scrolling. The third one, standard statutory baseline comparison, data set 3, payroll breakdown table, and so on. The last one, or let me say for the last one, I want to pick one more from this our task. I'll go back to task 3, procurement fraud, because that procurement fraud also talk about duplicate invoice. It's just to copy it the way it is, task 3. I did not put those tasks in PDF, so it will be easy for you to highlight and copy. See, I've just also pasted task 3, procurement fraud. You are asking Gemini to review data sets 2 and identify duplicate invoices, possible duplicate payment, suspicious vendors, split payments, and others. So all you need to do, check what I'm doing, submit, or you press enter. And within a twinkle of an eye, see, task 3, procurement fraud and expenditure anomalies analysis based on a forensic audit of data sets 2, procurement payments, several red flags indicating duplicate invoices, split purchase orders, and suspicious vendor payment patterns were identified. See the key findings. Duplicate invoices and duplicate payment. Invoice number 1002, Bright Tech, 12.8 million, appears twice in the system. Ladies and gentlemen, the beauty of using AI for your analysis is this. This question I've shared with us may have limited number of vendors or limited data. But we are talking of times you have millions of taxpayers or millions of companies. When you bring, as long as you can access the data, and you have done what is called data surfing, some people call it data cleansing, some call it data cleaning, so that you remove the chaff, the one that is not germane to the decision or the analysis you want to make. As long as you have a reliable data for analysis, it doesn't matter the volume, bring it to Gemini. And when you bring to Gemini, particularly if you now upgrade, because this is a free version, it also has limited capacity, the free version we are using. When you now upgrade, like my own ChatGPT, I pay every month. So that ChatGPT can do a lot of things. That's the essence of this demonstration. Instead of racking your brain, you want to solve problems using calculator or using AI is there to help you. So let's see, split payment structure, structuring to bypass threshold, all the duplicate transaction values. Number 3, invoices, has given us the invoices that were duplicated. Vendor concentration risk, it has given us also. And that is all. The last we are going to do here, see recommended additional audit procedure. If you recommended additional audit procedure, you can carry out. I will now go to task number 7 as we stop this particular case study. You can spend the whole time. Task 7 is saying executive report. Prepare a 2-page executive report addressed to the executive chairman of the Internal Revenue Service, containing executive summary, key findings, quantification of identified leakages, major fraud indicators, high-risk taxpayers, recommendation for improving tax compliance. I won't be surprised because I've not done the other analysis if it's not giving us full reports. We'll paste it again, task 7. Film my screen. Task 7, all you just need to do, once you can identify the problem you want to solve, copy, then go and drop. Executive report, I submit. Let's see the report now. Memorandum to Executive Chairman, Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, from AI-powered forensic tax auditor, revenue assurance consultant. You are the consultant now. The date is given July 30, 2026. Subject, executive forensic report, comprehensive tax fraud detection, revenue leakages, and systemic risk analysis. Executive summary, can you see we are following the structure of that report? See the executive summary. I'm not going to read this. I've told us we are recording this presentation and we are going to share key findings and major fraud indicators. I'm just sharing the reports A and B. C, D, registration and filing default, quantification of identified leakages and risk ranking. And let me scroll to the last page. Number 4, strategic recommendation for tax compliance. Number 5, AI and data analytics solution for revenue assurance. Please, somebody say it's not added to the platform. What happened? It's very important anytime we have a program, including the certification course we're starting next week, Saturday. That's on the platform we get updated information. All right. I will stop sharing. So this is for case study 1.
I'd particularly like to from CIT and direct membership pathway and Charter Institute of Forensic of Nigeria. Charter Institute of Forensic and Certified Fraud Examiners of Nigeria.
Are we still doing introduction? Sorry.
No, Prof. That must be an error. We'll mute the person now.
All right, thank you very much. Because of time, let's quickly go to case study 2. We have some interesting, very interesting case study. Let's go to case study 2. Of course, for case study 2, please leave your browser on. Case study 2 will be using ChatGPT to take care of case study 2. Now, before then, I will quickly open to us practical 2. I will share my screen. If you check the documents shared on our platform, this is a more complex matter now. Look at this now. This data set now is in Excel format. And the very first thing we are expected to do anytime you want to analyze data. Yesterday we said we have 4 types of data analytics: descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, prescriptive analytics, and predictive analytics. 4. Before you start any of these analyses, once you are giving data, go through this data to even see the structure, to see the integration of this data, and to do also what is called data cleaning, data cleansing, different name. That some things may not be relevant. But let's see. I won't tell us for now, except those of you who have gone through the case study, you will know how many companies. We are just going higher now. Now, this is predictive tax analytics data sets. We want to use AI to predict now. And of course, yesterday we have said 4 types of data analytics: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. So we want to predict. And let's see what happened. This data collected company 1. If you scroll down, I'm scrolling, the massive data now, 100 different companies. Then when you look at the industry, different industry, oil and gas, ICT, FMCG, logistics, construction, import, telecom, pharmaceutical, agriculture, manufacturing, and so on. Then, what of state? Can you see different states? Abuja, that's FCT, Kano, Rivers, Oyo. The recommendation in data analysis is that you are giving a data set. Go through the data. Just see, go through the data first. Sometimes when you go through, you may even discover that there is a particular data you need that's not being included. It's still part of the data cleansing and sorting we are doing. See, annual turnover in billions for all these companies. Industry company 001, oil and gas industry is located, of course, in Abuja, 36.4 billion annual turnover. VAT due, you can see that there. VAT paid, right? Customs duty due, then custom duties paid, then CIT due, company income tax due, then company income tax paid, payee due, payee paid. I'm just scrolling. Previous audit findings, no. Any audit findings. Years late filing, maybe they have years late filing, see 4. Then outstanding tax debts, see the value there, right? In million. Team status valid. Then risk note, persistent late filing. This is part of the data they have been given. Time will not permit us to just go through all this stuff there. You have it with you. Then if you check here, please watch what these sheets have titled or labeled dashboard KPIs. Dashboard. Key performance indicators used in this case study. See there, VAT compliance rate, company income tax compliance rate, payee compliance rate, custom compliance rate, outstanding tax debt, high risk taxpayers, duplicate teams, late filers, estimated revenue leakage, predicted audit yield. I'm just reviewing the data set given. I'm going to close that. I'll stop sharing. Then I will close. Now let's see the last documents on case study 2 as shared on our platform. And that second one is just task. That is what and what. What do you want me to do with this data collected in Excel format? What do you want me to do? That's what we were going to see in the second document. So let's watch and see. Yeah, we have it here. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has implemented an AI-driven predictive tax analytics system to improve tax administration, increase compliance, reduce revenue leakages, and identify high-risk taxpayers before revenue losses occur. Can you see your prompt now? Tax 1. Find attached data sets containing 100 taxpayers from different industries. We saw it. We just confirmed that we have 100 there. See the prompt again. Remember I said, when we had the case study 1, always prompt your AI tool. Tell the AI tool the position you want it to assume or to take. Act as predictive tax analyst, AI data scientist, revenue assurance consultant, tax auditor, and financial risk analyst. That's the first prompt. Then once you give that prompt, the tax tool is now saying, identify potential tax evasion. Identify taxpayers likely to be involved in VAT under remittance, company income tax underpayment, payee under remittance, custom duty evasion, intentional under reporting, persistent tax debt. You can leave that deliverables, may not be necessary. Then tax 3, predict taxpayer risk levels. Classify all taxpayer into low risk, medium risk, high risk, critical risk. I'm going through the task we have. Then number 4, build an AI taxpayer risk score. Develop a risk score 0 to 11 based on VAT compliance, CIT compliance, payee compliance, custom compliance, tax debt, previous audit, years of late filing. Number 5, predict default probability. What I'm going to do here, I will take the first task, that is to prompt ChatGPT. Then I will take the second task, then I will take one other task that will prove the predictive capability of ChatGPT. Once, just 3 because of time. So we can go to case study number 3. So all I need to do, just like before, I have my browser launched. You are not relaunching the same browser. See it here. I'm sharing. If we have these browsers launched, let's watch. This time around, I may decide to just close Gemini. It doesn't matter. Then I will type, see my browser, ChatGPT, ChatGPT. See it here, chatgpt.com, and press enter. Watch now. ChatGPT.com and press what? Enter. Now, if you did not get the steps we use for case study 1 question, let's follow the same step. It's the same step. Once you just launch your AI tool, the next thing, what you come here, as soon as I position my cursor on this cross sign, say add files and more. I will click on this, see what I have, add photos and files. I'll click on that. It will take me straight. Watch. I've brought me back here to where I have my data. So I'll go to the specific one I need now is this one, Practical 2. Check your platform. Practical 2, Predictive Tax Analytics Data Set. That is what we need to upload now. So as soon as I upload that, you highlight it, then what? You click open. I click open, watch. Once I click open, automatic, it has been uploaded. It has been uploaded. The next thing is for you to now go to your tax. Those various tasks we want to perform for practical 2. The first one says what? Has anyone opened this? Yeah, I've seen some people online say they have the same result. See, prompt, you don't need to copy prompt there. Find attached data set containing 100 payers from different industries. Act as predictive tax analyst, AI data scientist, that's what I'm copying. I will take it to my ChatGPT paste. Watch now, you have it. Find attached data set containing 100 taxpayers from different industries. Act as what? Predictive tax analyst. AI data scientist, I will now submit. You can press enter or submit. Watch now. Let's see what ChatGPT will first give us. Please take time to read what ChatGPT is saying here. I will first inspect the workbook sheets. Okay, they are taking away that instruction. But see what he's saying. As soon as I submitted, see what ChatGPT gave me. The data set has been successfully reviewed. It contains, that's data validation. Data validation. The data set has been successfully reviewed. It contains 100 taxpayer records across multiple industries and Nigerian states, with information covering annual turnover, VAT due and paid, company income tax due and paid, all those headlines we have there. I will analyze the data set from the combined perspectives of 1, predictive tax analyst, 2, AI data scientist, 3, revenue assurance consultant, 4, tax auditor, and 5, financial risk analyst. So it is the prompt, the instruction you give to ChatGPT that will respond, give back to you. He's telling us his capability now, what he can do, or the way we respond. The data set is suitable for performing analysis, such as is even listing the whole area of potentials, what it can offer, even far beyond what we want it to do. But we are not bothered with what it can do. Let's go straight to our own question. I will now pick, identify potential tax evasion. I want to skip that. I will pick tax 3. That's the only one I'm demonstrating. So I can go to case study number 3. So if you have your practical 2 task, go to tax 3. But if you have time and you have strong internet access, why not? You can even do everything. I'm saying task 3, predict taxpayer risk levels. I want to see a stronger one that has to do with prediction. Predict future revenue trends. Let me go to tax 6. We want to see the predictive capability. I'll go straight to that one. So I'm picking tax 6. Predict future revenue trends. I've copied that. I'll bring it here. Since ChatGPT say it can do all things. So let me jump 1 to 5. Let's see what it's saying about tax 6. I've skipped tax 2, 3, 4, 5. See what he's saying? I will analyze the historical payment patterns. That is prediction. Study the past to survive the future. In those days, I remember 1999, while working with UBA PLC, Abuja Gariki in Nigeria, when bankers want to leave the old generation bank to the new generation banks. The slogan then was, why are you leaving certainty for uncertainty? But after the passage of time, that we now saw that the new generation bank has stood the test of time. So if anybody now want to leave the new generation bank, the old generation bank to the new, the language have changed. Why are you taking a risk? So usually we say risk because we have past record. The same thing we talk about prediction because we have past data. See, ChatGPT is still analyzing. Tax-Accsa is done with its analysis. Tax-Accsa predict future revenue trends. Forecast methodology. Because the data set contains only one reporting period, the forecast is a 1-year scenario forecast rather than a conventional time series forecast. Can you see that? Ladies and gentlemen, this again is another important area to draw our attention. For example, if you collect data and you want to do regression analysis, that's what you want to predict. You know, in our management accounting, we have high and low method, we have the graphical method, and we have the regression analysis. Even in the regression analysis, we have the simple regression analysis, we have multiple regression. Now, what we advise people to do is that where you want AI to analyze data for you, you know you have various methods. Be specific in your prompting or in your instruction. If you want AI to use a particular, it's just like the precision. We have the straight line method, the using balance method, some of the year digits, production unit method, production hour method, all manner of methods. If you now give a question to ChatGPT or any other AI tool and just calculate the precision, it will just do the one that it pleases to do. But when you now specify, calculate the precision based on this method, that's the message I want to pass across there. The following baseline growth assumptions were applied. See revenue, VAT, CIT, assumed growth 10%, CIT 8%, PE. Let's go. The projections were then adjusted for collection risk using current payment compliance, tax payments, gaps, outstanding tax debt. Forecast revenue collection. It's your VAT. Current collection, 233.75 billion. Current compliance, 94.58%. Gross forecast, 256.82 billion. Risk adjusted forecast, 252.7. The expected increase, he has even given us expected increase. That means it has forecasted 256.82 billion, which is over and above the current collection from VAT of 233.47 billion. You can see that as a tax expert, tax authority, tasked with the responsibility to collect more and more and more from taxpayers. You can use this tool to help you in your decision. I will stop this one here also. You can continue. You have the questions, you have the platform, you have the AI tool, and you know the step to take. You can go and sit down to do that. We go to case study 3. Case study 3. Now, case study 3, remember again, we are talking of digital tools. In my secondary school, I think I started Government Teachers College with South and Para State. And then we did a bit of literature, And one of the books we read then, The Gods Are Not to Blame by Olarotimi. And one popular quote in that book, he said, when trees fall on trees, the topmost one is removed first. The same thing. We have been talking on, or our case study has been how to raise more revenue for the tax authority. Now, I want to narrow it down on how you can also use digital tools to plan for future. Yesterday, I did mention the future we don't plan for. When that future eventually arrives, we may not fit into it. As a matter of fact, say a wise man prepares for 4 things minimum. When he has 4 things, he prepares for old age. When he has youth, he prepares for poverty. When he has riches, he prepares for sickness. When he has health, and he prepares for death. When he has life. So among this preparation, there are some of us, maybe we are counting years or we are counting weeks or months to retirement. I will just digress a bit. And the next case study will also help our attendees and our members to plan their finances. There are opportunities. Some of us, as we are seated, that 1 million naira in your current account, that they are even charging you, debiting your account because of the service or services they are rendering. If you pick that 1 million naira, just transfer it to one money market fund. Forget about it there. And every month or every week, use your app and be transferring more and more. You are saving for the future. In economics, they say we save for speculative motive, for precautionary motive, and transactionary motive. The same way accountants make provision for bad debts, it is good as professionals, we make provision for rainy day. I share one quick experience with us. Here in the United States, just recently, I had a challenge that had to do with emergency. When I say I had to do an emergency, I had to call my wife to come back home and take me straight to the emergency unit here in the US. And I'm not on health insurance. I've not registered for health insurance yet. One of the reasons, if you ask me, if somebody has stayed over 30 years without sickness, no hospital, no laying down, hospital over 30 years, so what do I need health insurance? But then, when this health challenge came, I had to call her, and she took me to the emergency. There, what did they do? They collected my sample, collect blood sample, and the rest. And X-ray, they check. I just moved me one X-ray machine, there and the abdominal test and so. And the next thing, they say, while waiting for my test results, they gave me a drip, just one, pending the outcome to avoid dehydration. And ladies and gentlemen, what am I trying to point out? They did not ask me to pay before attending to me. Honestly, it's not a question of maybe because Adeba is privileged to be in the United States. When you are talking about a nation, a country so kind, so generous, who have humanity at heart, Libra, it is United States of America, number one. My children here, I don't know why I'm sharing this with somebody, but some pick something. My children here from primary school till they finish from secondary school is free education. Buses come to pick them, designated bus stop in the morning, take them to school. Then when they close, they come to drop them. Designated bus stop within our estate. That was not enough. Even this long break, this summer break, they even gave them money, cash for snacks. And yet, you say America is not a good country. They are so generous, so generous. Anyway, the message I'm trying to pass across is this. They never asked me pay money before attending to me. They finished all the work and they asked, do you have insurance? I said no. Some weeks after, of course, I've recovered, nothing serious. They say you need rest. You need to take more water and so on. When the bill came, over $8,000. Calculate $8,000. When you convert that to Naira, that's over 12 million. Saving for raining day. If I will speak Hausa language here, but when I saw that bill, they determined the ankle liver. I was not moved. All that bothered me was my health. Health is wealth. Because I will also save for raining day. And this one is leading us to number 3 case study. If you are there on number 3, we have a template shared on our platform. But before that template, please let's pay attention. Practical 3, I will share a PDF with us. Just see my screen. Yeah, I have this. I have this question. Masterclass Cybersecurity, we say practical 3. Practical question, using digital tool. Saving toward a retirement home. Mr. Okon, a public servant planning to retire in 10 years wants to save for a modest retirement home. He intends to invest 4 million naira as a lump sum and contribute 100,000 naira monthly to a compound interest account. The average annual interest rate is 12%, compounded monthly. See the instructions now. Principal is how much? 4 million. Annual interest is 5%. Years of growth is 10. Compound frequency is monthly. Then monthly contribution is 100,000. Question: what will be the future value of Mr. Okon's savings after 10 years? Number 2, how much total interest will he earn? We are using digital tool to solve this problem. Why am I bringing this? I'm saying again, a wise man prepares for poor things when he has 4 things. Prepare for old age when you have youth. Prepare for poverty when you have riches. Prepare for sickness when you have health. And prepare for death when you have life. I was in office in Abuja 2 years ago, to be precise, and somebody who just retired after serving the government for like 30, 35 years thereabout came to my office. Said, Prof, this is my predicament. My total package when I was leaving finally was 5 million naira paid to me. But before I even got that 5 million, I need to settle. And say, what happened? She has not been saving. She has not invested anything. And she was panicking. Where do I start from, bro? I gave her counsel and whatever. I don't know if she followed or not. But a year after, the woman called me and said, bro, the 5 million, money has wings, money fly rather. Say the 5 million gone. That is what happened with money. The money you don't multiply, you don't invest, of course, will diminish, to disappear. I've been there before. When they paid us our part payment for the Kaduna project we executed, they paid White Knight Consulting. That is the building of the forensic laboratory in Kaduna State. I'm talking from experience now. They credited that huge in millions, the hundreds of millions, over 100 like that, our UBA account. And each time I will just pick, I will see, there is still money here, 90-something million. You know, spend. Honestly, before you know it, 90-something million, over 100 million has reduced. It was in the midst of this that a colleague of mine, we graduated from Ahmadu Bello University, the same year, he called me. He said, Prof, there is this investment platform called that's owned by AXA Mansat. This is 2020, year 2020, 2021, thereabout. There's this investment platform called AXA Mansat. They have what is called MMF, Money Market Fund. Why not come and invest? And I said, okay, before every other thing that is remaining is also gone, I started fixing, investing. And honestly speaking, to the glory of God, especially in 2023, when I now apply for US green card here, and the dean of faculty in my university back from National State University called, okay, just told the HOD that we have not employed Adebayo to be a virtual lecturer, that they want me to be coming to teach physical in National State University. And I said, it's a signal that it's time to resign as a full-time professor. And I did put in my resignation. But then in the principles of wealth creation, one of the principles is that you don't lose money. The meaning of that is if I resign as a full-time professor from Insuk, I'm losing 500,000 naira every month as the salary I was earning then, 2023. I just sat down. I said, okay, what other things can I do that can make this 500,000? And what I just did, I now increase my investment in that MMF, AXA Mansat. And to the glory of God, by the time I look at this, honestly speaking, I make 3 times my salary as a professor every month by virtue of what I have invested. I did not keep that money in current account. So as you listen to me today, if you have some million, you don't even need to have up to 4 million, you have up to 1 million. With 200,000, you can go and open that savings account that will yield interest for you. But the kind of professors or the professional we are dealing with, they are not thousandaires, they are millionaires. And if you are not one, just receive it. You are millionaires, multi-millionaires. To solve this question, I have a template I've also shared with us on the platform. Just check practical 3 compound interest calculator. Exactly 12 o'clock Nigerian time, I'm going to stop. And whatever we have on touch, we'll be touching it in future. Let's see this template. There is the template here. You also have the template. From the question, see the investment. This is compound interest calculator. You yourself can even sit down. Okay, I have 1 million. I don't have up to 4 million. If I have a savings account, mind you, even some Nigerian banks have that investment savings account. They have it. Rather than putting all your money in current account, you can put in such savings account. Now, what you will do, just look at the template here. Principal amount, how much from our question is 4 million. I will type 4 million there. 4 million. Enter. The percentage is 5%, correct? Years of growth is 10. You type 5% there. Once you just put 5, press enter. The years of growth is 10. It's there already. Start dates, I've chosen 1st January 2016. I can change this to 1/1/2026. Enter. Then compound frequency. By default, we have daily in this, but from our question, they take compounding is monthly. See this drop down here, click on it, it will give you other options. I will now select monthly. I've selected monthly, then compound frequency monthly. Then how much additional payments? 100,000. I will type 100,000 monthly. You are injecting additional 100,000. Payment frequency is monthly. If you want to be injecting weekly, you can use this arrow drop down here to select. But the question is saying, at retirement, how much will Mr. Okun have? That's future value. Check that question. The future value from our screen is how much? 22,116,265.94. Savings is an habit. When you save small, just start small. Don't wait until you have the big money, the millions. Drops of water make a mighty ocean. Smallness is the womb of greatness. Those who despise smallness may never taste greatness. Those who feel too big in handling small things may eventually become too small in handling big things. So save for tomorrow. 22,116,000, you can see the total interest there. And this is number 3. So that today, that 1 million you have in your account that you will not need in the next 1 year or 3 months, or that 500,000, go and register. Either with Tax-Accsa, Masterclass, or any other, you may, of course, you all have bank account. Talk to your account officer. Do you have provision for any savings account that you can invest some money in the money markets with interest? They will give you information. We need all this in ACCSA Global, so that when you see that we have programs and you don't want to touch your salaries, you can use the interest you are also earning from your investment to attend programs that will have more value for us. On this note, I will only share with us the last question, question 4. Time will not permit me to solve that question, but I will drop it on our platform. You will now go and look at it yourself. But the same question is the one the taxpayers now. We have seen how the tax authority can leverage artificial intelligence tool to collect more from taxpayer, to detect duplicate items, to detect fraudulent activities and the rest, and to predict the revenue expected from the top companies or taxpayers. I've seen that. The last question, ladies and gentlemen, as I close, is practical 4, case study 4. I'm not solving, I will just let us see, I will share it with us. Practical 4, see the data, see the screen. Practical case study, using digital tools to reduce excess tax assessment and optimize corporate tax liability. And the focus of this particular one is leveraging artificial intelligence for smart tax planning, compliance, and revenue protection. See the background of the case study. ABC Manufacturing Limited, Nigeria Limited, is a medium-sized manufacturing company operating in Lagos State. Following a recent tax audit, the company received an additional assessment from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, as Nigeria Revenue Service now. Management believes the assessment is excessive because some allowable deductions were not considered. Certain expenses were wrongly disallowed, and the tax authority relied on assumptions due to incomplete supporting documentation. You know, I told us yesterday it's not their fault. If you didn't submit complete documentation or complete document, they will just use the best of judgment. The managing director has engaged your consulting firm to review the company's financial information and advise on 1, reducing unnecessary tax liability, identifying legitimate tax reliefs, strengthening compliance, preparing for tax audits, and minimizing future tax disputes. Your assignment is to use AI to protect the taxpayer while ensuring full compliance with Nigerian tax laws. Fill your financial information, assume income for 2025. I will just, that's of course, you have your financial statement. The additional information, inventory written off, capital expenditure, and so on. Outstanding tax liabilities, exports, sales in billions, VAT claim on purchase, VAT charge on sales. Let's go. Situation. FIRS issued an additional tax assessment of 185 million naira, comprising additional company income tax, VAT adjustment, interest, penalties. Management believes the assessment can be significantly reduced if all legitimate deductions and reliefs are properly supported. So what do you do here? This is where you will now go to the tax. Let's see the tax before us. Ladies and gentlemen, sirs and mas, as we close, the task before us is this now. Let's watch and see. Practical task, task number 1, build the best Gemini prompt. See the difference? The 2 case studies we had, it was ready-made prompt. I already built that one and we just gave. But this one is saying, build the best Gemini prompts. This prompt engineering now. Develop a prompt instructing Gemini to act as chartered tax consultant corporate tax advisor, AI tax planning expert, revenue assurance specialist, financial analyst. The prompt should request tax review, compliance review, tax optimization, risk analysis, recommendation. So that's tax number one. The meaning, as you solve this problem, this particular question, I'm just giving us a guide now. The first thing you will first do is just to convert this thing now to a sentence. That's an instruction. That's a prompt. That is, you don't need to tell Gemini. You don't need to put Gemini. Just launch your browser, go to Gemini. Then the first statement will be start like that because you're already in Gemini. As Qatar tax consultant, corporate tax, and so on. And also, you now include this other prompts that's prepared already to prepare tax review, compliance, just construct it anyhow. This is prompt engineering. We have a university not only here in the US, it's Louisiana State University. When you go online, they offer masters in prompts, in AI prompting, just how to give instruction, how to give instruction. It's a very important area. So let's see tax number 2. Review the tax assessment. You are saying analyze whether the assessment appears reasonable. So, ladies and gentlemen, professional colleagues, the first thing again you will do is to upload the data text. Just upload it first, as we have done for case study 1 and 2. The next thing is the prompting. Then once you prompt, you submit before you now start to perform other tasks. See tax 3, identify allowable tax deduction. Tax 4, identify available tax relief and incentive. Tax 5, VAT optimization. Tax 6, capital allowance analysis. Tax 7, predict future tax risk. Tax 8, prepare a response to FIRS. That is a report. On this note, I want to use this opportunity again to thank you for your rapt attention. Thank you for following. And I will stop here. So we can ask 1 or 2 questions and comments. And we'll get ready for the next.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Can we give Prof a round of applause? Yes, the round of applause is resounding here. Thank you very much, Prof.
The round of applause is resounding here. Thank you very much, Prof.
I'm sorry about the delay. I'm speaking, but it keeps repeating itself. I think it's the internet issue. All right. So in-person participants, we have. All right. So in-person, 2 persons that may want to ask any question. No, I'll mention a question too. Okay, so we have 1 person. Please, you can come. Do we have any other person? All right, so please approach the podium. Prof, somebody is coming through. He will mention his name and they ask his question. If you just speak, you can hear you.
Okay. I'm not seeing the all.
My name is Igwe Stephen.
Go ahead.
It's about the investment.
I'm not seeing
give us
people.
details so that some of us can look into it. We are about to retire soon. Thank you.
All right. I'm not seeing the all again. What is happening?
Do we have any other question?
Associate Prof, I'm not seeing the all any longer. What's happening?
Webmaster is working on that. Webmaster is working on that, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. If that's the only question we have.
Okay, we have 1 more question, Prof. Just a minute. All right, so please go ahead and speak.
The question is that the compound interest calculator And we use it to calculate treasury bill investment or fixed investment.
Thank you, Prof. Please, you can go ahead.
All right. The first question, AXA Mansard, the person who wants more details about that, I'm going to share information on that investment platform on the platform. I will share information. That's a link now, and the contact person that you can reach out to, I will share it on our platform. When I started investing in the money market fund of AXA Mansard, it paid then as much as 24%, 24%. But currently is over 15%. And if you have an investment where you make your money to work for you and they pay you a return of 15% plus, I don't think it's a bad one. So I'm going to share information about that investment platform. As a matter of fact, we even have investors forum in ACCSA Global. Maybe by tomorrow, we will share the link for you to join the WhatsApp group. We have an investors forum where we share all information about investment opportunities. That may be a better place for you to get other information as you retire and not tired. Then going to question 2, Treasury bill is a risk-free. Of course, when we are talking about investment, it's risk-free. You are sure of your returns when they class. That's one of the reasons they classify it as risk-free. It has a risk-free rate, no risk attached to it. Now it depends if you have investment in treasury or you buy treasury bills, government trading with your money. You know, treasury bills sometimes can be 3 months, sometimes it can be 6 months, it can be 9, it can be 1 year. It's a short-term investment opportunity. It depends if you have all the information, all the parameters. For example, you want to buy treasury bill, maybe it's 5 million. 5 million is your capital, but one thing again, why this template may not work is that there is no opportunity for you to say you want to be adding additional money like we have in this platform. So the correct thing is once you are investing in treasury bill, they will tell you what to expect at maturity. In most cases, they pay you your interest upfront, then you wait till maturity to collect. Okay, treasury bill is above 17% now, and 91 days, and 182 days, at least 60 days. I don't see that. So very good information, over 17%. I think the same AXA Mansard last week sent me information about the treasury bills, but then the offer has lapsed. I couldn't meet up with that one. So for treasury bills, of course, you will know the percentage, and the offer will stipulate what to expect by way of interest. And that is that. Thank you again for your attention as you continue the next session. God bless us.
All right, please, one more time, can we give Prof a big round of applause? Thank you very much, Prof. The applause is very resounding here. We most for us today. Thank you very much also our online participants. We appreciate you for your rapt attention. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir. Sir is leaving, sir. Afternoon, sir. Okay, please come to the beach, sir.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. This thing they just finished before we just finish, so I mixed it together. Don't worry.
Master, welcome back.
What are they doing?
I don't feel like, I don't know, sir.
Direct is calling. Why in number are they calling? You say they hold B.
Hold
You don't
B?
get the hold B.
Yes, I'll be, sir. I'm not sure it's, who is this one? I get to. 070-6845-6199.
Adebila. I bet director is calling. He say, "Are you waiting for director?" I am committee. He's looking for you now. Thank you.
Hello, yeah, sir. Please come to Orbi. Yes. He's not speaking louder any longer. Okay. Okay. What about? Okay, yeah. This is not speaking louder. I know you're here.
Wait from there.
From there. Are you sure? So speaking louder before.
It's on them.
The amount, even if it's 100,000, what is the line of approval?
The microphone
Because
doesn't even know.
as a person, I cannot even give you 50,000 without a particular line of approval. Because if you remove the money, auditors come, they hold you responsible because you didn't pass the correct process.
It's not, it's facing inclined.
Okay.
Let me see.
Do you see master?
Yes.
No, I want to see what now. Sir? What is going around? Wait to you. I don't even know what the is around. Go and check them. From him.
Where is the person? It's one that is talking. From where is he talking?
Batabala. Yeah,
From
there.
inside.
Okay, sir. Like what you have just said, if you look at the message, if the MD wants any payment, at least you should scan something with his signature so that
You don't want the mic.
you will know that the one really sent it.
But I see it when I see
Now, me or now, when they offer.
Yes.
what thing they use to raise the sound?
Like
Now, person
where I work,
talking.
yeah, their superior can ask you to make payments.
They say no.
But at least there should be something reasonable evidence that something is scribed with his hands and signed, so that if I'm making the payment, I have to contact him. But he's telling me not to call him. There is no evidence. No, that conference, you have to answer me.
Okay. This problem, I know the problem. You know the problem. No, it's not. It's from the United States side. Then
This problem is.
person has to be like,
Let us repeat that.
for this thing.
How we go?
You don't offer him again.
I told the offer and all now. No, they talk English. What the work? Go. Go.
Hello, sir. Hello, please. I think we are overflowing this issue. The era we are now, I don't think this kind of message goes from when one man will put an hour to one amount. It's not possible. Because if you look at the payment these days, nobody is saying one person is not signed to the bank, or maybe we are doing an internet banking. It must be initiated by somebody, reviewed by somebody, and approved. So we should overflow this issue. Let's go ahead. in there. Just like you were saying there, that there should have been approval for mixing the workloads. What we are talking about private faith, whatever. You don't understand. Like, I saw the grace. Something like you do that on WhatsApp. You just say the stuff, whatever, just by the message and snapshot you can send. Send the evidence of your to me so that I can send to the person. But the quantum is why this quite an amount. Let's go to incident 3 quickly, and hoping we can be able to do some little demonstration of malware attack. The payroll officer inserts a USB flash drive received during a conference, like this conference. Within minutes, payroll files become encrypted. The message appears. Your files have been encrypted. Pay 3 million. I mean, 3 bitcoins within 48 hours. This is a malware, and what about malware? And as they do that, not just ransomware, kidnapping, kidnapped. This stuff Alex will come over where you did using the US. That's go look now. You know what's stuff Alex. We rarely use stuff Alex. That is the software. Now we know that's fine. We only use software that must be there. And we now use it like when we were installing security for yesterday. Because why? From one you don't even finish the program, they don't go the option and answer. And malware to either get some information. So one have to be careful how you use USB. So this is a ransomware where it has been that you have to pay 3 Bitcoin. The value of this coin, I don't know. I know this should run some millions. A coin now is some thousands of dollars, if not millions. So to pay 3 Bitcoin, you can see I said it was quite more within 48 hours. How much that? $20,000. So let's multiply $6,000 by 3. That is what is being requested to do. What in order to get the payroll files. And what are the checks here? Look at the children like payroll files. We're talking of information of and okay, now it's $8,308.75.05. That's the value of Bitcoin now. If you need any information about Bitcoin, please go to our webmaster. These are certified Bitcoin. Yeah, open my account. Is that okay? So now, practical exercise. We should recommend immediate action on payment procedures, business continuity plan, recovery plan, then whether ransom to be paid. The last question and the last recommendation is even straightforward. But in our scenario, even in our security scenario, when the law is even made that ransom not be paid, so people lose their loved ones, people pay ransom, even government pay ransom. So let's take the first one, recommendation, before we now understand. I think we now go to the council. Immediate action. What do you recommend? The ransom was what to be the immediate actions? The first thing is to isolate that particular device. That USB device to be isolated. Now, imagine this is the business environment that is working infected from a conference, so you cannot just use just like anything you isolate that device because there must be a process where you track and trace how that ranking actually came to be. So one of the things you do, let me give you my points, is to isolate the device itself. That you have to disconnect it from the network. Ensure you disconnect from the network and disable the Wi-Fi because obviously this is an online payroll thing that affects the device of the organization. So one thing, the reason why I disconnect all this VPN network and rest is so that it will not spread to other information. So the first thing you do is to isolate the device. And number two, leave the device powered on. That would be the laptop that you use. Let it still be powered on. Because some malwares, if you restart your system, by the time you are booting back, it will crash. Some, it will take all your files. It will now become, kidnapping will not be a wide scale, wide scale like school abduction, like a Trojan horse. It will not be like the dark situation. So you don't restart, let it be on so that immediate action can be taken. Then remove the USB device carefully, if it is safe to do so. And because that will be an evidence for that. Now, is an organization that must have a trail of what you do to secure the files. Asked and requested for. That's what the last question is.
I don't go any place. They say we want
to. You might say no. What should they do? For many organizations, even in the US.
Yes, now don't tell our organization
to get the files.
Okay, I will meet them when I get back to me. Because I want
but it's quite similar.
I'll call an
this UK organization, I forgot from the name, where our
These are Polaris
behind the scene is so.
Don't look shiny lamp like this.
So one thing is
Slap now, back lamp.
Which company?
Echo.
Number 4. Activate response team. Just like I mentioned the one
you suffer for that man. See, also the way I just did my own check. Listen, company back me they go now. Me, I just go enter as faculty.
Say activate the incident response.
Come my flash class.
The internal when
you come go reach. Now offense. Mr. Okay, they ask for. Shit. They come jump like faculty. They come jump like faculty. Come I did I want that. I can't ask myself, what you can major I did get my company with the pass. Hey, that's man.
Then the fifth point I do there is reserve.
Guess what? I can't jump a suko. I can't jump a suko for Calabar. If go to the 1 point. I don't man. I'm going to decide for that.
So that you can be able to maintain a clear chain of.
This man again. This man for Jaji.
Yes, my
Why also they are making
the you don't know organization commander. You want to let me general. I ain't go collect this.
Well, the network.
You know me at that time.
Okay.
Where don't have the commander.
I'm me I know I miss it. I can say in the bar church. He get $. We don't have church members. We don't become officers. Yes. I saw you try. If you didn't be, you did ban or you did choir, all this kind of thing. All this choir was in the John Army there. I saw you here.
And give us that one say no USB files.
Me, I know like that. I know like that small.
Like
another woman Ghana go to tap go complain for Paris. So they get like two battalions now. No, I saw okay. When I write my husband number, they write number. All the money like the husband number. They go notice.
Let me your USB.
Maybe they just come by notice one month.
And before you know it, you put in a USB file. Because the only see what is there. Something will interest you or attract you.
That's why I get
someone might copy. You say no USB.
So
we have to do more or less like a line that will let up our own team stuff so that anything you want to share, like we share from. So someone eventually done mistake the responsible was not that like so that contains social.
This one the
goal is to maintain critical operations while necessary recovery is underway. Because that they are taking over your payroll information, that doesn't mean everything stops. Work has to continue. So what do?
You have to ensure that the payroll continuity is included. Private, there's a backup. For another case, sometimes, if some of these things affect even the backup, if it is on the network, if it's on the network, can affect the backup. Let me look all those and let's look at the recovery plan. Then we do it on the WhatsApp, we have a copy man.
Okay, so we open our browser because of online people. Open our browser, open a new tab and just type. I have to open it up. Are they hearing me? Okay, let me move to it. virustotal.com. I hope I'm still on. Open my screen. Okay, yes, this is how it looks like. Are we there? Virus total, you can see that's how it looks. Online participants, I hope you can hear me.
As a type of virus together in place. And think of some scan that document. If it fails one, it will not fail one. Something like that. No, we have so many antiviruses. Sometimes if you file a non-can antivirus, it will say it's safe. But if you put it maybe in a campaign or as fast food, if you see something like a Trojan, that means there is antiviruses on the website where you now use to scan a file. People scan a website that you and popular website. You know, website that doesn't have the S, not the one with the S there means something. Then it's normal HTTP, hypertext content. So some websites will business tell you that it's not safe if you have a strong Chrome enabled or even Firefox, any of them. You have your firewall in which is strong enough, and your Microsoft what do you call it, antivirus. Defender, thank you, Windows Defender. If it's strong enough, it can kind of trigger that this website you are going to is not safe. But sometimes, like me, I'm so I beg, anytime I know where I'm going to. You just kind of click it and go because you know where you're going for. But sometimes it will tell you that it's not safe. So that means what you see there is you're on your own, something like that. So this virus that can help. You'll be able to give you a prior information as to whether it's safe or not. You know, IP addresses. So you can see.
So the only thing is going to so about that. Not discuss about it.
Just they won't tell them about the. You can scan a file. You can scan a file. You can scan a URL that is the main compressor. You can also scan by searching a particular IP.
This boy just called up.
This is just for
What
virus does is spread all those things. I'm not saying you talk about only for 10 days. You have a file on your US director saying what you are saying will give. Then
as you click on file, you now click on
very useless situation.
you now take
As people come in, you give them it.
We just go to give me a pass. So, I mean, I can't take the email.
No, you have 6 months.
It's not supposed to be.
Public platform.
When I report this
Whatever you
October
upload,
10, 2023,
anywhere you want.
General Data,
That
even
whether register, whether you pay for it, signing register, or it's free.
14 days, the day when I come, they give my 14 days. That has been the
Fine. I'll be paid by posting
as you come, collect your 14
your
days.
file. But this virus is actually payment to the subscriber.
When you come, you say, as you come, collect your 14 days. No problem with the first person, no problem. Other people don't come after.
It's not that bad, it's just
It's this Olodo general.
Even with props. So you have to know the cost of if it's on my laptop, so you just upload the file and it now scan.
When the people give
it, tell you whether the file is saved or not. Now, I will not use the file because let's give you now URL. To click on the URL,
Now you give you.
the next one, what? Yeah, you will give you file. URL give you. URL. Let's type
to enable you drive or travel come from where. This will give you to go and organize yourself.
Let me use .com. This one is not going to be public because the URL is obviously everything. This is .com. I click on set.
They say leave with the hashtag.
Then this interface will come out
First, family this.
as to its safety and eligibility.
Right, they don't make sense.
And me, I know people don't go complain, say, sir.
So this is the report
Why they report
of
to
the
the
URL. This is .com. By the top left,
this is the give
you
them.
there
Maybe it's the one that's one give you. You want to give pass.
Then it's showing us
What is this?
There is
what
one
is
thing
that
or something.
as no
Then it's
90
Let's
seconds.
So
So
you
you can
can
usually bring that means there's no virus threat. Malware threat for that particular website.
From let's move on.
And if you go down now, mind you,
From the 17
you
to
have summary
November 30th.
So that that's where we analyze what you are going to see. Let's go and now see the name of different type of vendor analysis of virus. That are showing whether this site is safe.
every month.
And everything we're seeing here by people plain. Now, mind you,
You don't see
let me
that. My
explain
name for
this
that.
if it's a file on website and it's giving you clean all through,
Okay.
it's not 100%. Yeah.
And call your number.
Allah, I hit you, man. So, you get my number together.
So it's like it's not a minor. It's not a political.
I call everybody. I call everybody, including the civilian corpers, and all of them. Only your number I'm using for system.
You don't buy your bought your.
Now you buy your number, now you don't make it.
You are telling your students to buy your. One, I think in the child that this is cheaper.
Keep quiet, I don't explain it.
Say you are slapping your customer.
I slap Paduka.
I did what? Okay, I'm gonna do buy that.
Like I don't understand.
Some of them just like
so many antivirus like
It's not my TV.
this
Not my
one
TV.
That's not my TV.
No matter how we play, go to start with you.
Now let's look at the details.
People that plan for it, also the details
of
You're supposed to stay on mute. So I get some.
Yeah. So that will be
just come up.
So this is very important for you, and it is free. It is free to be used. But just like I said, it's not you upload any particular file. You should be careful because they can have access to it and be able to read through. So, thank you. But I think I'm talking about so let's use an IP address. Let's use an IP address. Let's go back. Just go back to myself. Let's answer now. I'll go back to home. So let's set an IP address. Let me give you one IP address.
I didn't sleep at home. Sleep in hospital. 192. It's getting better. Well, she wants to come around. I wish she don't come back in the night. And 8 to 9, I go change
Dot one.
I like they come from there this morning.
192.0.2.1.
See where I do talk about this one.
Or
yes,
let me give another IP address. Those are just testing IP address because I don't want to give the live one before you enter somebody's Let me give another one again, you can test it. 198.
Close to that master. I know come early the way.
No, you can use any. I'm just giving us.
I'll soon go sleep there. I will come back
51
to 7 hours. I mean, at 100 voice in a shine.
Plus 1. 198.51. Dot 100. Dot 1.
You do the rest there.
Let me give another one.
Yeah, let's leave like
upload from there. 203. Another IP address. 203. Dot 0. Dot 113. Dot 1. 203. Dot 0. Dot 113. Dot 1. So if you click on search, it will tell you whether to spread or not. That's what. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Well, my online. Right. So thank you very much, Mr. Kingsley. Please, one more time, can we give Mr. Kingsley Dollar another round of applause? Thank you very much. You know, time flies when you are having very good, when you're having good moments and effective time, of learning. Okay, I don't have a problem bringing the next presenter, but we just received the news again from the kitchen that our lunch is ready. So we're pleaded with them to give us 30 minutes. The reason is that the presenter has been waiting online so that by 2, we'll go for the lunch and then come back for our brainstorming session. So I'll have to quickly appeal to Professor Noguera. I hope you can hear me. Can you? All right.
Yeah.
We want to take the next paper. Luckily enough, Professor Noguera is one of us. So please permit me to bring on board Professor Joseph Noguera. Joseph Noguera is one of the board members, PCSC Global, also based in Louisiana. He's of Southeastern University at Baton Rouge, Louisiana, United States. Professor Noguera, I know your paper is originally for 1 hour, but please, we have a slight constraint. We can't go beyond 35 minutes. So please bring us another presentation on cybersecurity management in the digital age, principles, practices, and frameworks for safeguarding organizational informational assets for about 35 minutes. Please, with a round of applause, help me welcome Professor Joseph Noguera. Over to you, Professor Noguera.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to you virtually and to talk a little bit about cybersecurity management in the digital age. I think you have gone through a very, very valuable training throughout this week or this conference. So this is just going to give us a little bit of some more information about cybersecurity. So let me share my screen for us to talk about that, and then we'll go from that. So the title of my presentation Again, we're looking at talking in terms of, practical principles, and some sort of frameworks, some sort of information that we have. I would like to make this as interactive as possible. So I have some activities for us to do. So we'll see how we go about doing that. So can everybody hear me well, or any issue?
And clear.
So everybody's okay with the volume, I guess. So let's talk about, we're going to look at the fundamentals, but I think, throughout this conference, you have been able to be introduced to some of those fundamentals. Also, thinking in terms of threats, and thinking in terms of governance, because, what you do, the policies, procedures, the approach that you take in your organizations to ensure that you are protected, that you are actually proactive as far as making sure that you're not gonna go through situations that we have seen some businesses. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about global cybersecurity frameworks, some examples of the financial taxpayers information, how to protect that, because that is a very sensitive data. So we're talking about here data, but also more than data, we're talking in terms of how do we ensure that our customers, clients, feel trust what we do, because trust is very, very important in any organization. And if they cannot trust you, then obviously they are not gonna want to do business with you. And then we will have a few other things there. So let me start by first, putting that question to you there. We can just think in terms of, have you ever received an email that felt just like a little off? And it's probably some of you, when you think about that, you could think, okay, might be, yes, or maybe not. And, you have not noticed it. But I think in your business or in your personal transactions, you probably have received that kind of email that you are not sure about, and that's what we're all talking about in terms of what we're going to talk about. A little bit of some data regarding some trends. Obviously, we talk in terms of 2,200 plus cyber attacks happens globally every day. And obviously that costs about 10 trillion, uh, in annual, costs. And then, we're gonna talk about, what are some of those threats. But then every 39 seconds, we see that we have some cyber attack, that occurs approximately, every 39 seconds somewhere in the world. So I think those are very alarming, very concerning statistics, is concerning data. And I know that, like we were saying, in your organizations, you probably have experienced that. Or if not, you want to prepare in a way that you don't experience that. What do we mean in terms of cybersecurity? I know that this obviously sounds basic for some of you that you have gone through this training and some others, but just to, overall, to kind of, for us to look at, have a foundation. We're talking about protecting, information, computer systems, networks, applications, financial records, and digital identities. And obviously, we're protecting that from unauthorized access, theft, people damage, destruction, cyber attacks. So, and we have many cases. I remember in my school, not too long ago, we did have one of those attacks. And yes, one of our learning management systems obviously got, disrupted. So for a few days, actually, we were in a way, not being able to access the system. So, and then, the question was, do we lose any kind of information or what happens? But then we have also that in the state of Louisiana here, where I'm from, 2 years ago, the Office of Motor Vehicles, which basically process driver licenses for people, they were hacked as well. Their systems were hacked, and then in this particular case, they did lose data. And unfortunately, they were one of the measures they took was, okay, well, let's send to our citizens some information, some update, and let's at least tell them what they should do in case they receive some kind of suspicious emails. And yes, I remember myself receiving an email, and I still every so often I receive emails where they said, okay, this is the Office of Motor Vehicles, you need to pay this, and otherwise, you're gonna have an issue with your driver license with your car, and then, click here, and then, you know what could happen, yeah? And so unfortunately, things like that happens. Target, which is a very, very important business in our cities, also was hacked some time ago, and the same, we lost some data. And so that is very, very, very important for us to consider. So information assets, examples, financial statements, payroll records, taxpayer databases, those are very, very sensitive. And customer information, that is ongoing. And when it comes to ERP systems as well, bank accounts. The good thing is that some banks, like I do business with Chase, and Chase has very good, proactive measures and policies. So I know that in Chase, every time, some transaction at a particular limit or a particular amount gets to be processed, they block that automatically, and then they send me an email asking me to, to basically verify if I am the one doing that transaction so that they can process it. So then if I say yes, then they will open it up, and then I can go back and do the transaction. Now, on some end is inconvenience. Unfortunately, yes, because I have, had the experience in some cases is an inconvenience to some degree. But on the other side, me as a customer, I'm very glad that I have that, because obviously it might be a time when I can lose all my money. So that is very, very important. So we could think in terms of your business, but also at the end of the day, well, at the end, we're talking in terms of individuals here, individuals' accounts, individuals' funds, and that obviously escalate to, businesses. So we can go on different levels. Procurement records, cloud storage, emails, intellectual property, that happens a lot. Now, we have this particular, in a way, model here that tell us that effective delivery, cybersecurity delivery, on three objectives: confidentiality, which means, only the right people can see the data, and then integrity and availability. We had this scenario here, or this example actually, keeping data secret. And in this particular example, which it might be, something that you cannot relate to, some situation you have got that, think of a client's tax return, or a company's unreleased financial results. Only the people who genuinely, need that access, not the whole office, should be able to open it. In the same way that, healthcare provider limits, who can see that your medical records. So you don't want your medical records to be going around there, or you don't even want your tax returns to be going around there. So we can instill, establish some controls, some policies, encryption, access controls, patch management. Again, those are some of the things that we could do. Now, we're not going to get into the technical, because you probably have been, shown some of that. Integrity, making sure that, the data is trustworthy and is accurate. because obviously that is very, very important. Is it our data correct and protected from unauthorized changes? Because in some cases, we hear a lot, well, we have some cases, maybe I'm not sure, some of you might be involved with the government on your jobs, or maybe with educational institutions. But I remember not, some time ago, and still there are some good cases where a student's record had been, changed, and then there have been issues with that. So a real world example here is, imagine, approving a $1,200 invoice, and only to find it was somehow proceed as 12,000. That's a big difference. Maybe it was a technical glitch, a typo, or something, delivered, either way, the transaction integrity was compromised, and the cost can be human, or it can easily as a technical. Now, today, as you heard earlier, yeah, we talk in terms of AI. So AI is helping us a lot on that end, but we cannot just trust that. We also have to educate and people in our businesses and have some policies and some procedures in established. Some common controls and availability is another also part of the model, ensuring timely, reliable access to data and systems. That is very critical. And we have, for example, you expect to check your bank account online anytime or make a transaction, and then it happens that is interrupted. That is a problem. So we as customers and businesses, we want, these days it's 24/7, and that happens a lot also. So we got some controls that we can. So a scenario one here, just to give us some context, some perspective about cybersecurity, sharing more than you meant to. You are on a video call reviewing a client financial statements. Partway through, you realize your entire screen has been shared with everyone on the call, not just your finance team, including people who have no reason to see that client's data. What do you do? I mean, that happens sometimes, and for instance, happens in conferences and meetings that you have with your colleagues or employees in the company. So do you keep on? You keep going, and you probably find the colleague they are okay after you stop sharing immediately, or wait until the meeting is end. Obviously, that is it looks like a simple scenario, simple question, but it's very important to think in terms of the implications of that. So let's see the answer here. Stop sharing right away and report exactly what was exposed and to whom immediately after the call. So you have to react right away on that. So, and that's a better call than any of the other examples. It's in area 2. We were mentioning about 12,000, 1,200 or 12,000. That invoice. So what do we do? We get that particular situation, and it might not be this number, it could be some other numbers. And I can tell you that, for instance, I just actually have been since yesterday trying to figure out. I made a wire. I wired it was a small amount, and I used Chase, and I went to Chase, and I wired that, and Chase give you, they have a fee for wiring money internationally. The fee is, I think, is a flat fee because it doesn't matter how much the amount, they charge you $40. But anyway, I made a wire, and they debited my account. But then guess what? I'm not sure the bank uh, uh, account number that was the right one I was supposed to send it to. So now they have been trying to figure out who that money went to. So these things happens, it happens to us, it happens to businesses as well. So here, what do we do? Do you have a stronger password, or the accounting system will have prevent this? or an approval workflow that flags and expected changes the amount to amounts, or nothing really. So obviously, these are very, very important procedures that you have to keep in mind in your company. Otherwise, things can be out of control. Obviously, a workflow that flags unusual changes backed by an audit trail showing exactly who changed it, what, and when. So whether it is, some amount that gets changed, or whether it is some transaction that you approve, but then later on, well, I make a mistake, but now how can I reverse that? So in my case now, I have to probably call not just Chase, I have to call the bank in my country and figure out who that money went to and see what I can do. Because obviously, and I may not recover the money. The good thing is it was not too much money, but it's still, it's not something you want that to happen. So again, individually, for the individual, we have to keep that in mind too. Scenario 3, down on the worst possible date, and then we were talking in terms of availability. So, in the last day of the month and your accounting system goes down right when your team needs it most to close the books or schedule. Now you are pressure here with a time frame. You know that you have to get this done, and now your infrastructure, your system goes down. What do you do? Or should you have a redundant system and disaster recovery plan, which should be that is actually being tested and rehearsed, or you just do nothing. You just, it's an average. Just wait for the system to be reestablished, and you switch to keeping all records on paper going forward. I mentioned before that when in my school, the learning management system went down. And so we needed to have a contingency plan there to deal with that, because guess what? Well, this faculty could not log in into their system, and faculty could not do their classes because we depend a lot on our systems, the LMS, to get the materials the students could not do, and all of that created a structure. So if I did not have a plan and find a way maybe to print out what I needed, and then me as an instructor have a way to come up with some idea of what I'm going to do in the class instead of the plan that I have earlier, then that's gonna be an issue. So in business, you just imagine that situation happens a lot. I mentioned the motor vehicle office here in the state. When they found out about the hacking of the system, they shut it down. For days, they could not operate. And guess what? They have X number of customers, clients, citizens that are coming regularly to the office to get their IDs, or to get their IDs renewed, or their car registered, and all of that. Well, just imagine you have to close your office. Just imagine a hospital lose your records, or has to the system goes down. Especially now when we have robotics and we have some surgeries, some stuff happening in using automation. So again, it's very, very sensitive thing happening. Redundant systems and generally tested disaster recovery plan minimize how much this actually disrupt you. So obviously, having that disaster recovery plan is very important. That would be the way you want to go to. You have to have a plan for what if during COVID, especially here in the US, yes, we struggle a lot with hospitals because they did not have what if, and that's a problem. So common cyber threats, we say, phishing, you have heard, business email, compromise, malware, ransomware, social engineering, insider threats, password attacks, data breaches, that's a lot, identity theft, a lot, and then denial of service. So now over there, let's do a test of your instance here, for short, realistic scenario. Scenario 1, the urgent invoice. You are in accounts payable and an email arrives that looks like it is from a supplier who has paid for years. It says they have switched banks. Please send this week's already due payment and all future ones to the new account. So we get this sometimes, okay, well, I changed my account. Again, I need to do the transaction now different. What do? You update the details and send this week's payment right away. Is due date. Call the vendor using a phone number from the past invoice to confirm the change before paying, or reply to the email asking if they are sure about the new account. Obviously for us, again, if we already have a protocol, a process here, your employees, but sometimes, it depends again, if you don't train your employees, are not aware of that, then mistakes can happen. And those mistakes can cost a lot of money, a lot of to businesses. So you call the vendor, and you verify that in fact, that is happening. So that's a better option. So why finance departments are prime targets? And we think in terms of, which areas or which functions in your business are, the most vulnerable or the most exposed to being attacked. And then we think obviously the finance department, the accounting department, because they control payments, vendor management, payroll, procurement, all of that is, the banking, the financial, everything goes there. And so they are going to be main target, a prime target for this. So a scenario 2 here, or one scenario here, the CEO's urgent text. You get a text that looks like it is from your CEO. In meetings all day, need you to pay 500 in gift cards for a client. Then send me the codes. Keep this between you and us for now. So that's what you are being told. You buy the gift card quickly, the CEO is busy and ask it for discretion, ignore the text completely and do nothing at all, or you contact the CEO directly through a known number or in person to confirm before doing anything. And so here again, the idea is that I was hoping for us to make it more interactive, but I know for the sake of time, I just, giving you those scenarios and, helping you or helping us to think in terms of, what if this happened? What should we do? And if we don't know what to do, we better find a way to know what to do. And that's what it comes into governance and procedures, policies, rules that you're going to establish or you need to establish in your business. So in this case, you confirm directly with the CEO through a known number or in person, not by replying to the text. And real life examples where we have Bangladesh Bank, have $80 million stolen through Swift fraud, Colonial, Pipeline, Equifax, Nigerian Bank examples. So we got many examples of that, and that's why we're talking, and this is so relevant, especially these days, also with AI and machine learning, all of those the emerging technologies, because it could be used for both purposes, for improving what we do in a business or for disrupting businesses. Another scenario here, 2 invoices for 1 real. Your team received an invoice from a regular supplier for a routine order. 2 days later, a nearly identical invoice arrived for the same order, same amount, but with different bank details, saying that the first one was sent by mistake. Well, that's kind of something. So what do we do? Pay the second invoice, saying it is the most recent version. Pay whichever invoice arrived first, since that is the original. Call both and call the vendor directly to confirm which one and which bank details are real. So again, this is well, we have to train our mind in terms of how we would go to deal with this what if scenarios, because that is very, very important, because we can make mistakes. And so you hold those invoices and call the vendor directly to confirm which one of that. So it may seem trivial situations and scenarios, but believe me, it happens a lot. And especially in small businesses, entrepreneurs, sometimes they are not, obviously they are more on the business side and less on the technical side. And they do need that help to understand, what is the world out there when it comes
Professor
to
Noguera, sorry to interrupt. I hate to interrupt, but we have just barely 10 more minutes.
Okay, yes, yeah, let me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And so the governance part, governance, leadership commitment, policies, accountability, we had talked about that. And then also some of the frameworks that we have here, and you notice the steps, governance, identify, protect, detect, response, and recover. And password habits, again, that is very, very important. And I think you will probably do some of that, or you have been told. But the password habits is very important to deal with. Some of this cyber risk management, very important, also a part of looking at that. We're going to share the presentation, so you will have a chance to kind of look through some of these as well. I just want to, probably we got 10 minutes, so we can do some 5 minutes question and answers, I guess, at this time. So artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, so we can use these tools now to detect phishing, identity malware and stuff like that. So I think that is very important, but we have to be careful how we use that. So let me just go to what I mentioned a little bit about the disaster recovery, the contingency plan that has to be there, and some emerging trends that we have. So some takeaways: cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. We need to know what if, what we need to know, be more proactive, not reactive. Human errors remains one of the biggest risks. Governance is as important as technology. So remember, technology is going to do what we set it up to do. And we cannot blame technology. We need to blame, always individuals who set up the systems and the code. Global frameworks provide a roadmap for resilience, and continuous learning is essential. So in the digital age, organizations are no longer judged only by how well they generate revenue, but also by how effectively they protect the information entrusted to them. I was saying that trust, this is about trust. This is about businesses wanting to do business with you, or you wanting to do business with businesses, or businesses wanting to do business with other businesses, because otherwise they kind of, it cannot be, effective or efficient. So thank you very much, and it has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Professor Noguera. Please, can we give him a big round of applause? Thank you very much, Professor Noguera. We'll keep it at this, and hopefully we have you at some other point. Thank you very much. Our online participants, thank you very much. The in-person participants will be going for a break shortly. So online participants, free to get coffee or cup of tea. In 45 minutes for us to have this brainstorming session. Thank you very much.
This system on its own cannot mute.
Very, very, very good.